You keep going back to the same places, the same people, the same patterns, hoping maybe this time it will be different. You call it strength. You call it loyalty. You call it love. But your soul knows what it really is. A cycle. A wound disguised as comfort. A familiar pain dressed up as healing. You keep trying to mend yourself in the arms that broke you, in the words that silenced you, in the presence that made you feel unseen. But healing doesn't happen where your spirit was crushed. It doesn't live where you had to dim your light just to be accepted. It doesn't grow in rooms where your truth was too loud, for people too afraid to hear it. You keep hoping the place will change. The people will grow. The story will finally shift. But sometimes the greatest growth is realizing you need to walk away. Not because you hate them, but because you finally love yourself enough to leave. You owe no one your continued suffering. Your healing isn't a sacrifice. It's a reclamation. And sometimes, healing looks like letting go of what's familiar, so you can finally find what's real. It's messy. It's painful. It's lonely at first. Because the places that broke you, they don't want you to leave. They want you to stay confused, to stay small, to stay useful to their dysfunction. But your soul was never meant for that. You're not here to fix broken systems by breaking yourself in the process. You're here to remember your worth, to stop explaining your value to people committed to misunderstanding you, to stop shrinking your truth just to fit inside someone else's comfort zone, to stop calling survival love. There comes a moment in the journey when you stop asking, "Why didn't they change?" and start asking, "Why did I stay so long hoping they would?" That shift, that sacred shift, is the birth of your real healing. It's not about bitterness. It's not about blaming. It's about reclaiming your worth from the places you once lost it. You begin to see that peace is not found in trying to be enough for people who never knew how to hold you. Peace is found in your own arms, your own breath, your own permission to walk away. You stop romanticizing the struggle. You stop mistaking survival for love. You stop shrinking into versions of yourself that made other people comfortable. You remember you were never meant to live in emotional starvation, begging for scraps of attention, calling it intimacy. You were made to thrive, to bloom, to rise. And even if it means walking alone for a while, it's better than being unseen in a room full of people who only love you when you're quiet. And so you begin to rebuild, not from the ruins they left behind, but from the truth that always lived in you. You learn to walk with sacred boundaries, to honor your own energy, to stop apologizing for choosing yourself. You start listening to the quiet voice inside, the one that says, "This isn't love. This doesn't feel like peace. This no longer aligns with who I'm becoming." And instead of silencing that voice, you follow it, even if it leads you to the unknown. Because healing doesn't happen in the same place where your soul was fractured. It happens where you feel safe, where your voice is heard, where your tears are met with gentleness, where you're allowed to be whole, not just useful. So stop reopening the same wounds, hoping this time it will be different. It won't. The closure you seek isn't in their apology, it's in your decision to close the door. Because the truth is, you were never broken. You were placed in broken environments that couldn't hold your light. Now, it's time to rise, to leave, to breathe, to go where the healing lives. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel, Ubuntu, where your soul is always welcome.